Hi, and welcome. This is the Connector's Edge podcast. I'm Marian LaSalle and my co-host, Ricki McKenna. Hi, Ricki.
Hi,
And we
Mary.
have a guest today who's sitting right next to me,
Yes.
BJ Earle. Live long and prosper. She's been watching all the Discovery channels, or not Discovery channels, the Star Trek Discovery.
Star Trek. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
actually, there is now, Star Trek has a program on Paramount called Discovery. It's a furthering of the whole of all the episodes.
That's
And
what
it's
I'm
you know what I
watching.
love about it? It's phenomenal.
Is that the
And
one with Michael Burnham as
yes,
yes, that's what
that's
I'm
her name.
watching.
That's her name in Discovery. She's
In
gorgeous. And
Such
to
a
me,
good.
the acting, I don't know who chooses them, but the acting in Star Trek has always been, to me, phenomenal. I mean, you can read their faces and the emotions that are on them that are just perfect in the skits. And what Richard calls Star Trek, he calls it a passion play. If you think about it,
Okay.
it always ends on a good note,
Good note. Yes, of course.
and the good guys usually win.
True.
But there's always a moral. If you listen to the dialogue, there's always some
Yes.
brilliant piece of how to live well, and be aware and be kind to your fellow man. It's
True.
an amazing series. I was sort of not really a Trekkie until we got together, and I'm fascinated by it. I love the characters.
I did not watch a lot of the original. It was probably before my time. Okay. And so by the time I was watching television, it wasn't high on my list. I thought, well, that's kind of silly. So I mean, I've seen some of the original and I'm like, oh my God, Captain Kirk, I just want to, kick his teeth in sometimes. But, well, you do. He's just, he's kind of full of himself. Spock, I really, really like.
Love Spock,
I
right?
love Spock. I like the Vulcan philosophy, not emotion, rule with logic, go on your way.
Yeah, to a
So
point.
it's kind of interesting to watch this Star Trek Discovery to see the connection, much more deeper connections that Michael Burnham makes with people because
Yes.
he's willing to show some emotion. She's willing to be vulnerable to people, her shipmates, people she meets on planets, and that comes to serve her well because then they are willing to follow her.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I thought that's what connections do for her. She's willing to put herself
Yes.
out there emotionally a little bit, which when the story started, she was very much in the Vulcan mind frame. You go into a room and there's no pictures, there's nothing personal
Right.
or anything. And she gets to be the roommate of Ensign Tilly, who's
Love her.
a genius in terms of engineering.
Yeah.
But she's just chatty. And Michael's like, I don't know who this person is. By the end of season 1, Michael has learned when you put yourself out there with people, you get back. And so that crew learned to love her. She learned to love that crew.
Yep.
And that served them well when they went forward and had to do missions. So that connection's brought to that show for me. And I love that because I didn't really see much of that on the original Star Trek.
No.
I understand it's a very male-oriented show from the 60s. So I kind of get why it's.
What was interesting to me, if you look back at the original crew, it was diverse. I mean, and there was actually the first interracial kiss was
That's
Captain
true.
Kirk and Lieutenant Uhura.
That's right. That's right.
And there's so much to learn from that crazy script and the goofy things, the monsters they encounter and this, that, and the other thing.
The makeup
The whole point is, the makeup's amazing.
It's really.
What I love about it are the lessons that you can learn if you actually look beyond what you're seeing and hearing and put it all together. One of the things I loved about the Discovery series was they went back to Spock's beginning and Michael Burnham.
Yeah, they've
as
grown
his
up together.
stepsister. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's human, but she has a lot of the logic from her upbringing from the Vulcan thing.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
and the stuff with Spock going through what he's supposed to marry somebody
Yeah.
and the emotions. And then in the further series, when you get to the newer ones and you hit Data,
Mhm.
and Data is an android. And he
Exactly.
says, but I don't have feelings.
Yeah.
And yet there's something about him
Something about them, yeah.
that says, yes, he does. And he
Mhm.
really kind of wants to at times. And then you bring in his lore, the nasty
Mhm.
twin,
Mhm.
and that's where you get the human emotions because he was more humanized. And Marian, if you haven't watched it, there's a lot in this, way beyond what people think of as, oh, Star Trek, flying around the universe,
Oh,
whatever.
it goes on forever.
The characterizations and the lessons that are there. And one of the funniest ones is where they land on some planet and somehow or other they breathe in the air from these weird flowers and Spock becomes human.
Oh,
All his emotions come through and he actually
that's so hard.
wants to be with a woman. And it's a hoot. It really is.
Mm.
But it shows you that it's possible. And it's just the imagination that goes into this. And they do have things based on science, as
Mhm.
far as running around the universe and different
Absolutely,
things that
absolutely.
happen. Some of it's made up, but a lot of it is actually based on science. And look at the results of some of the things we have.
Yep,
Yes.
versus
What
won't,
about,
you know?
the Apple Watches
Yes,
and that
yes,
kind of things,
yes.
and the devices, the communications?
Yeah.
One of the things I love in Discovery is when somebody like Michael Burnham goes like this, and the whole computer appears in the
It
air.
comes right up in front of her.
It's
Wow.
coming.
Yeah. You know, the character I'm really interested in pursuing, I saw that there's Section 31 has its own program,
Yes.
and Michelle, I believe it's Michelle Yeoh, is the main character as Philippa Georgiou.
Oh my. Yes.
And she is just a hoot. I mean, I just have gotten some of the best laughs listening to lines that woman gets. It
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of Downton
Yep.
Abbey and listening to the Vanessa Redgrave lines, and you think, boy, who wrote this must have just such a good time with
Yeah.
these those put down lines that she does. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of looking forward to going and seeing Section 31, just so I can have a chuckle, at how
That's the new series that's coming up, isn't it? And
I
Section
believe
31 is supposedly the hidden one
right,
that
right.
they didn't know
So,
from the Marian, you look lost, sweetie.
No, I totally get what you guys are going for. The fact that all these different types of entities, okay, they're not people, are getting along and the connections that are made throughout
Yes.
the universe. I totally get it. I really do. For those people who are watching or listening to our podcast, if they haven't seen it, I think this would be a great opportunity for you to check it out. But we need to move on.
well, that's, what I
Okay.
love when anybody walks into a bar and there must be at least 20 to 30 different kinds of entities in that bar. There's a Klingon and there's a guy that looks like Linus with the big eyes, and nobody bats an eye. It's just like, well, of course I expected to see all these different, I don't want to say things, I don't want to say people because they're not.
They're humanoids or
Yeah,
something.
but I think that's cool. They just interact just like it's like, okay. I thought, wow, I wonder if we'll ever get there.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Yeah.
sorry. Okay, I hijacked your podcast.
No, you didn't hijack it.
No, you didn't at all.
Yeah, we talk about whatever we want to, but it always comes back to connections.
Yes.
So this is the connector's edge, and what we're doing is connecting ideas and people together to better our lives personally and professionally. So one of the things that I wanted to share today was we have the connectors, connectors. Oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of it.
Book club?
Connectors Hour book club every Monday morning. And one of the things we were talking about is how do we keep things, how do we remember what it is we've decided we were going to do? Because it's easy. We're living our lives and things go about. And I promised Ricki that I would introduce her to this person. And have I done it yet? Well, you know what I mean? So I have to come up with ways for myself to remember that I want to live a healthy life, that I want to connect people together. There's different things that are going on. And one of the things that helped me is index cards. So I just want to share my screen for just a second and show you something I came up with on the computer. I did it in Canva, but you can do it with a regular index card.
Index card?
Yeah,
Okay.
keep it in your purse or whatever. So I'm going to share my screen real quick here, and I'm going to show you what I came up with.
Oh, I like this.
So this one, can you see it? Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Yes.
This one is called Mindset Matters, but it could be, you could use this for anything that you want to remember. This one is essential checklist to do whatever it is. Yes, this one happens to be navigate life's challenges, and it gives you different things. A clear and focused mindset enables us to find creative solutions to challenges.
I like that.
Amen. I
Yeah.
love it.
Keep learning, stay curious. I like that.
So you could make a whole bunch of these for different things that you have going on in your life. And so I just wanted to share that for a moment.
So
Thank you.
see how you might use something like this. I mean, I could imagine putting this on a card and having it reminding myself. But when I heard you talk about something, you said, you know, I have these things to do, you know, I need to connect Ricki with XYZ. I need to, you know, update that website page. I need to, where do you do those?
Well, like I said, you could make up a whole bunch of different ones. I specifically wanted one that I could keep in my purse that I could say, oh, I need to do this to better my life. So it's maybe not a to-do list.
More of a general, it's a larger, wider perspective.
A wider,
It's kind of a to-be list.
it could be any
Yeah.
kind of a list.
To be, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that versus to do, to be.
A to-be list. There you go.
You first have to be before you can do. Does that make sense?
Yoda.
Yeah,
like-
it's kind of basic. Yoda, yes.
Yeah.
My favorite character of all times, Yoda.
I gotta tell you something I read recently. It said Frank Lucas, somebody asked him, why does Yoda speak backwards? And he said, if I want to engage somebody, I need to make a speech pattern that is memorable.
Ah,
He said, that's why you know, if I give them an accent that no one understands, that's not going to be memorable. I have to engage 12-year-old boys who must be the biggest fans of Star Wars.
Star
thing.
Wars,
And-
yeah.
And so therefore I made it, him speak, his cadence was different and it was memorable. So
That's brilliant.
I know,
It really is.
that's why Lucas is a multimillionaire and yeah, I guess, okay,
We're working on it.
we're working on it with our
Yes.
to do and to be list. I like that. So your to do could change, but your to be
Grows.
grows. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Well, I made a list as we were going through right now we're reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I just, every time we get together, I make a list of things that go, oh, yeah, I need to remember that, you know, daily tips and things like that. And what do they call me? Well, he made up a new name today for me, but I am the chief connector and the by your side guide. I don't think I need another one. He said he came up with another one, I think, but commitment was a big one. So we're in chapter 4, 5, and 6. And commitment is really important. And how do you stay with it? So we talked a little bit about, okay, so you make a commitment to count calories or to whatever it is that you're doing at the time. And, you know, after a while, you just kind of fade off. And so you have to have a way to remind yourself to get back on track. I think that's why January 1st is really important to a lot of people.
Reset.
It's a reset. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it could be a daily reset or a weekly reset with your card.
That's right.
And just as a reminder, I would love to have that right in front of me on the wall, behind my computer.
Uh-huh.
So another thing we were talking about is my friend Louise, who passed away recently. We used to have a podcast called The Weekly Reset. And we would have a podcast every week, to reset our mindset.
She was a hoot.
Yes, she
She
was.
was a hoot.
I miss her very much. Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
So in redoing your goals, your point is well taken. If I set goals and I don't know if you get bored of them or you think, oh, well, if I,
It takes so
I'll
long.
do it tomorrow, but not today. And then all of a
Mhm.
sudden X number of days go by and you're like, gosh, how long has it been since I've counted my calorie input? I wonder if there's a way to visually put like, my goal is to do this for 4 days or something, something manageable for you. That
Yeah.
you'd say, okay, I can honestly do that for a week. Easily.
Well,
Have a-
Becky, can I throw something in there on that topic? Working with some clients on nutritional issues, I suggest doing a daily meal plan
Mhm.
and following the plan. And there's a checklist. There's a listing of foods. There's a listing of a grocery list.
Mhm.
And you buy the grocery list, and each day you can make whatever's on the list or something close to it. And the thing is, that's your checklist. That's your commitment list.
Yeah.
And you go back to that to see, okay, yes, I did this, I did
I've
this,
done that today.
I did
Oh, I
that.
like
May have
that. See,
missed
I'm gonna write
here.
that down, a
A
commitment
commitment
list.
list.
I
Yeah,
like that.
A to
and
do.
and check it off.
Commitment list.
There you go.
Yep.
Well,
And that's manageable for a day's worth of
Right.
activity.
we talked about you this morning in the book club because we were talking about having fun. And that is your MO is, yes, you can run your business, but you got to put the little fun in there. Otherwise you're going to get bored of it or
Gotta be, well, you know what? People who are laughing and happy usually understand something better than those who are sitting there like this and listening to something. If you ever notice
That
that,
would be me.
no, I'm very serious about it. This is scientifically proven that when you are engaged in something and you're happy about it,
Okay.
you're, if you remember laughter, you remember silly jokes, because the silly jokes usually have a point of interest and a point of information. They're somehow connected. And in being a happy recipient of information is much more conducive to remembering than sitting there and going,
That's true.
the boredom thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we should
So,
implement.
yeah. And if you're having fun in a business, why wouldn't you want to have fun doing your business? Because it makes things go easier.
I thought about that because I take care of a lady with Alzheimer's. I'm her manager and she's getting close to the end of her life. And of course, we have to make the funeral arrangements and things like that.
Right.
Things you have to do when someone's coming to the end of this life. And I thought about that, the lady who runs it is just as pleasant as possible. But how in the world would she make her business fun? I mean, I don't think anybody wants her to be laughing and giggling and making jokes or anything. But somehow or another, she just makes it as pleasant as possible.
That's
And
beautiful.
yeah, and she finds other ways to put people at ease and
Yeah.
to, soften the sadness that most people have when they're talking about somebody who's,
Yeah.
unless
That's a
you're happy
talent.
with the person's.
Yeah. Well, that's a talent because my philosophy is, having gone through something similar to that with my mom, and another person in my life, that eventually they will be at peace because there's something going on, whatever's going on in their minds and their whole systems is not at peace. It's in turmoil.
Yeah.
and you want to see them at peace. You really, I mean, that's how I felt. I just wanted what apparently was struggle to end and just be peaceful.
Yeah,
And so I tried to bring that into my communications with her.
yes,
And for the most part, it worked because there's still that beautiful person inside that head that's in turmoil.
okay,
And so facing that, it's not always easy,
yeah,
but it really makes life for yourself as well as for that person, because there's still that little person in there who gets it. And even with the person I know that you're working with, somewhere in there, she's there. It may not be evident, but there's a sweetness of the way she was
when she was, yeah.
that needs to hear that.
And, you know, this is the Connector's Edge, and we do talk about the edge a lot. One of the things that I wanted to talk to Becky about as we close our podcast today is I wanted to thank you for the connection that you and I have made. We connected in 2007, I believe, and started our business in 2009. We connected, even though we're complete opposites in almost every single way. It's still, the connection was there, and we made it work. We build websites for people and help people with their online communities. And so I just want you to take a minute and think about the different people in your lives that you could connect with that you don't normally connect with. So Star Trek, we were talking about all these different entities coming together and
Yeah.
connecting and making things work, business opportunities, making connections with people that you think should go together. Like I'm going to connect two different people who had Kundalini experiences just because I'm listening to what they're saying. We've known this we've known this lady since day one. She was our very first client, and she had a Kundalini experience, and she taught yoga and did past life regressions and Reiki and all this. And now we have met someone in the last year that has the same type of experience. So I'm going to put those two together. So that's what my lesson is for everyone today, is to get yourself some index cards and make a list, a to-be list?
To be, to do, and a commit list.
And a commitment list.
Yep.
So you can
Commit
put it
list.
in edible bites.
Yes.
Yes.
Like you were saying, make it something you can commit to without it being a hardship, and having it be what an accomplishment today you've done by doing this thing.
I like the word accomplishment. It's not,
Maybe it's
it's
accomplishment.
not, excuse me?
Maybe it should
Wait,
be
what?
an accomplishment list.
An accomplishment
list.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, now for years I took a goals. That's what I want to do. I want to connect and, finish that.
Right.
But I realized it was silly that it's semantic. But sometimes the words make a difference to people.
Yes, they
A
do.
different word can be completely different and get a completely different response.
Yep, that's
So,
very true.
Yeah.
And I promised to connect you with a moving company so you could get a quote. So I'm going to do that now.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And tell you what, are we about
Yep,
time
we're
here?
out of time. Yep.
We're out of time. Well, folks, we're almost out of time, but one important thing I want you to remember, please, if you've gotten anything that has struck your brain or your heart in this podcast, please let us know. Put it in the comments below, and really let us know. Connect with us in that way. We'd really appreciate that, and we'd appreciate you. And if there's anything else that you think you'd like to hear, put that in the comments too today. I decided to add that one. But really,
Yeah.
let us know if there's one thing that you got out of all this, whether it was, Yoda talk or whatever. Right.
But that we're Star Trek fans, and you know what?
Right.
Neither of us knew that. I've known Ricki for years. I've known her partner, Richard, for years. Never did I know that she had an interest in Star Trek.
Oh, wow.
Learn something new every
You
day.
learn something new.
Every day,
connection.
if you're listening and you're aware,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's important.
And thank you all for being here. And thank you, Becky, for coming on today.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it. Your hair looks great, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
She said,
Okay,
how's my
well,
hair?
Oh my God, how's my hair?
no, it's fine. I'm gonna do both. I don't know if I can do it with both hands. Wait a minute.
Can I?
Ta-da!
It looks a lot
Live
better.
long and prosper, people.
And then-
Yes. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye.